Now presenting Mr. Mike Coyne, Governor's Hurricane Conference board member representing the National Weather Service.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our next award is the Tropical Meteorology Award. It's presented to an individual or organization that has made outstanding or substantial contributions to the advancement and knowledge, application, or understanding of the hurricane forecasting and warning process in the state of Florida.
Blowing, storm clouds moving in.
Since 2004, Mr. Mike Boylan has been educating people about trends, model runs, and everything else tropical weather related through his website. He does not forecast, but his dedication and contributions to the citizens of Florida and providing tropical weather information in layman's terms, helping to explain what the forecast trends mean and how to follow all the extensive maps, charts, and graphs located on his website, Mike's Weather Page, aka SpaghettiModels.com. The 2021 Tropical Meteorology Award goes to Mike Boylan of Mike's Weather Page.
Well, there'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend Mike, he's your man. And he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here at Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation Pride.
All right, everybody, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time of the day it is. It's Saturday night, our quickie, what do we call this thing again, Shelly? Dirty 30. It's our Dirty 30. 30 minutes of nothing but tropics chatting. And the remix wasn't planned, but you know what? That was someone from above. I didn't mean to play YouTube at the same time. But it sounded pretty darn cool, so guess what's coming? A new intro after we get done through this storm. So that worked out really good. Anyway. All right, hope you're all doing good. And we're going to talk all... Oh, no, my countdown, I've messed up. Remember, I'm a one-man band. I'm clicking away here. All right, I am a one-man band coming to you live from Oldsmar, Florida, Tampa Bay. Mike's Weather Page, Mike... Bowling, and we're going to talk about Debby, Tropical Storm Debby now. This thing was not supposed to be Tropical Storm Debby yet, so there's a lot to talk about. I want to go over all the latest models, show you what's happened throughout the day. We're going to be live tomorrow at 9:19 Eastern on a special Sunday edition of the Daily Brew. Okay, we'll be on live tomorrow for a full extended hour, or however long it takes. So we'll be live in the morning. Tomorrow, going over the latest overnight data and see if anything's changed, but we do have a lot to watch for a lot of folks here as this thing is getting that look. Classic S-shaped storm. And, man, I'm just got that little feeling inside of me. It's, something we got to watch close, And then we got flooding concerns for Georgia, South Carolina as this thing stalls early week, man. We got a lot cooking here. So I am storm chasing. Yes, Marcus, I didn't mean to read comments. This is a very quick 30 minutes, but yes, I am storm chasing 100%. I've had 2 counties reach out to me offering accommodations. I've had a couple sheriffs. Hope you got to catch the interview with Kevin Guthrie. It means so much to me that the state of Florida trusts Mike's Weather Page and use our platforms to communicate with the director himself. So kind of puts us on the map a little more, right? So I hope you got to see that one, Florida. For sure. Here's the latest cone. We get a new cone at 11. They just had an 8 o'clock advisory. They don't adjust the cone at 8 o'clock. So we do have hurricane warnings now up there in northern Florida in red. It is not going to hook into South Florida. There's a lot of rumors out there that it's going to turn into Charlie or Ian. No, it's a totally different system. It could, be in this cone, but I don't see any models suggest any turn south Tampa Bay. Trust me, there's a lot of folks worried about Ian and Charlie. This is not that. And if it did, it's not going to be developed by then. We're worried about last second development here tomorrow into Monday, okay? A couple things to note here on the last official cone. First off, the cone is anywhere the eye could go. We're going to have some nasty, I'm going to show you estimated radar for tomorrow. If you're wondering why you're in tropical storm warnings, we're going to have a lot of feeder bands tomorrow rolling in through the state, okay? That's going to happen. As soon as you wake up in the morning, flip on your radar, you're going to see all kinds of storms in the state coming in off of the Gulf of Mexico. Could be tornadoes, okay? That's a big part of tropics. But what we're seeing here is a slowdown now by 12 hours, and this is not good. Originally, the landfall was supposed to be maybe before daybreak, but it's reacting to this stall that we've been seeing now for days and days and days and days. There is a weakness. There is a high pressure to the left. There's a high pressure to the right, and the door is closing fast, and it might just slow and come to a stop here for a couple days, okay? So I'm going to show you some rain estimates. They're like unbelievable. But the only good news is past this, we're not seeing as many models hugging that warm Gulf Stream. So still concerned of flooding. But there were some models showing a strengthening hurricane. But so far, this thing might find that opening as the high pressure builds back and pushes this thing more north. 11 o'clock, we get a new advisory cone tonight. The most important hour of the day left for me is the new cone at 11. So they are expecting a hurricane now, and pressures are 1,005 currently. Here they are. Pressure is 105, moving at 14 miles an hour. Not that fast. 40 miles an hour official winds. So there's that. All right. Here's what it looks like on Zoom Earth. You get an idea what's cooking here with the winds. This is a great site. I have it linked on the app, Mike's Weather Page app on Apple and Android, and also here on the page. It's really cool. It tells you where it was, where it's going. Kind of gives you a sense of where it's at and some focal points. You can zoom in super duper close and change a bunch of stuff. Visible satellite. Okay, holy cow. What the heck is happening here? This has got the classic S look. Crazy, man. We got a credible bubbling of convection where center's at. Things you don't want to see. It wasn't supposed to be a tropical storm this early. It had to look last night, obviously. But that's the bubbling. That's what we're watching. I'm not going to go too much into conditions ahead, but I am right now. But this is something you don't see every day. This is almost no wind shear tomorrow. That is crazy. There's an anticyclone, high pressure setting up above it, which was modeled about a week ago. But anyway, low shear, man. And the water temperatures are some of the hottest in the Atlantic right now. Look at that. Crazy hot water. Record hot water. So, being a Florida native and seeing storms in the Gulf. And I tell you the other thing we noticed this morning, which really shocked me. We talk about the loop currents and loop eddies. I didn't realize this. We have a very powerful loop eddy right there. That is extra fuel on approach. And even if our system, passes here, it's going to be pulling that energy down into the core as it passes by. So there's a lot of things favorably allowing this thing. The one thing that's stopping this from being Cat 5, time. Let's hope it doesn't have enough time. This latest update was a surprise to me, but it's going to give it even more time. So if you're in that cone, you're east of that cone, you need to pay attention. Here's red, green, blue. We're going to be looking for these colder cloud tops, black. So you can see these things really popping. There's no wind shear, so there's really nothing going to squash them down. They come, they go. Pressure's lower because of that. That's what we're watching. Now, Zoom Earth, I posted this earlier. Why was this post earlier so significant to me? Well, because we didn't have any sort of low-level circulation, okay? My buddy Austin called me. Austin, if you're listening, I'll give you props, buddy. I was taking that 30-minute nap. You miss so much if you take 30 minutes off. Well, this thing emerged from Cuba, and bam, we had circulation. I was like, what? Like, instantly we had low-level circulation. So that was, to me, something I have never seen that fast. Don't know what it means. I'm not the National Hurricane Center, but whoa. This is 1,000 millibar. Tight circulation already. 850. Incredible 850 millibar circulation. This is your lower level atmosphere. 700 millibar, beautifully stacked. And this is where it's getting interesting. 500 is now coming around. We get 500 millibar stacking on 700, 800, 1000. It's going to intensify. And it's already intensified quicker than the National Hurricane Center said it would. So here are the latest spaghetti models. Drum roll. Maybe we'll get 00Z while we're doing our live. I doubt it. This was your 18Z from tropicaltidbits.com. Notice that west shift again. Can't stress enough the UK has been phenomenal. It's on the left west edge of the cone. So, again, we might see a tick. Now, realistically, we probably are going to see a shift at 11 o'clock. I'm having a feeling a little bit more shift to the west. Here's that slowdown. All the models are showing a slowdown before it turns back up. So this is good news. Let me tell you, this is good news right here. This is a good trend. We noticed it this morning. We aren't seeing the models over the water. It still could be nasty, could be some storms, but it's not the worst case that was showing. This, however, is very, very concerning because our storm plops over here. We got the Gulf Stream, and the waters over there are the warmest right now. They're above normal. Gulf Stream will fuel this system. It's not going to weaken. It might not be too strong, but it's just going to be pumping rain in, tremendous rain off of the Atlantic. Okay, that is concern number 2. Looking at the track here on this black line right here, this is the National Hurricane Center track. So some of these models are really still to the west. So we're going to be looking for any track west. You know, might see that 11. All right. Storm surge, definitely still a huge concern. Several counties are under evacuations right now along the waters. 4 to 7 feet now officially. This thing gets stronger. Guess what? The surge is going to come up. Tampa's holding at 2 to 4. If we hit that 3 to 5 mark in Tampa, you got to really watch it. Tampa Bay, obviously a lot of people in the news already know we got the flooding chances. It's in the news, thank goodness, so that the people are getting prepared. But 3 to 5 is the number that I really would raise concern in the Tampa Bay area. But we got 4 to 7 now. And if this thing strengthens, the surge comes up. We have new moon on Sunday, the worst possible timing for a new moon on Sunday. One thing that the director, Kevin Guthrie, mentioned, I never thought about it, but the rivers are already up there. Inland flooding could be a huge concern along with coastal surge. So there's 2 levels of flooding going on here. We have the stalled out system to the north, and all these rivers flow down through Florida. Okay, so just because we might not get the big rains up there, we could be getting the runoff rains into the state. So that is a huge concern for Florida, is the inland flooding from 20 inches plus rain. Okay, that's very uncommon, epic. Okay, here is the 20 inches predicted on the NOAA official map. This is conservative. Believe it or not, it's conservative. We have something called rain training. When our system sets up, endless bands of rain do not move, and they just hit the same spots. we are going to hear, you can bet money, you're going to hear about rain training. And there's going to be areas that are going to be isolated, but they're going to be a lot. Okay, so you need to be prepared for that. Georgia and South Carolina. And we still have 11 inches along the coast. I mean, this is still 12 inches of rain here where this thing's coming ashore. Lots of precipitable water. Okay, this is a lot of rain. Some tropical systems don't dump this, but we have double-digit rains in the purple all the way through the state, all the way to Carolinas. Even without a landfall in the North Carolina, we're going to see 10 inches of rain. That's a lot of rain. This is the big story after landfall, is the flooding rains through the week. All right, let's show you a couple of latest models here. The latest HWRF, these are your higher resolution modeling. We got the 18Z out here. Let me show you the radar. Kind of give you an idea what it might look like tomorrow. Developing system. Let's just go to the winds because it's cleaner. Latest HWRF is at 982. Okay, that is definitely a strong Cat 1 pressure. There's your landfall. All right, that was HWRF. The latest HMON, these have been really good over the years for track and intensity. That's why we're just going to focus on these right now. The HMON is pretty much the same area. Pressure in the 984 range. The HAFS models, these are the 18Zs. Wrong storm. A little stronger, 986, but winds at 80 knots. This is 10 meter winds. Yes, no, 850 winds. Hold on a minute. All right, there we go. 986. So they were hovering around 970. We haven't seen it yet, but I'm telling you. And the HAFS B model is very close to the HAFS A model. All right. These don't go out very far, so we can't go looking for rainfall totals. But there's 982. That's the trend. I'm telling you. Let's look at the latest high-resolution models, or the regular operational models on tropical tidbits. Latest GFS 18Z. Let's take a look at that real quick. It is showing a 987. Pretty strong. One thing I need to note, too, more than anything, a developing hurricane, now that's going to be slower on approach to land, is a lot, in my experience, a lot more severe than a weakening hurricane on approach. Okay, it takes longer to weaken. The winds seem like they're more on the surface for some reason, and you're going to have inland effects even greater. Okay, still 987 over land here. This would be Monday morning. So the official track, they slowed down a little bit, the National Hurricane Center. So there's still some wiggle room here for this thing to, go a little west maybe and go a little slower. But, it's so confident now, kind of the area it's going and what we're looking at for effects. The GFS parks and kind of goes back inland. This is that stalling out effect. This is all the way to Thursday morning. There's Thursday morning. So Monday morning to there's Thursday morning. That's been the trend. And nothing's changed in a long time. There's 983 on the 12Z. Little stronger system. Parks out here. Comes back in. Now, the one thing to concern, to be worried about in South Carolina, especially a little bit of Georgia, is this thing sits over that Gulf Stream counterclockwise. We're going to have, 988. We could possibly have this thing, intensified to hurricane status on that Gulf Stream if it gets off the land and just sit there for a day. And this stall has been showing up for a week now. I'm not going to get into it all, but this, we've showed it a bunch. The two highs are meeting in the middle, and there's nowhere to go. But that is a real possibility. All right, some other 18Z models. Let's look at the Icon. It's showing a 996, whatever. Icon intensity's never been on. The track has, and then it kind of stalls it finally. Yeah, see, it wasn't doing. And then it's still 960, but it's the outlier. But it's showing us going back. That would be bad for North Carolina. That's the Icon. It stops it here. Here's Wednesday, but instead of going back to land, it kind of goes back up to the Carolinas. But the important thing it's showing is 980-ish storm. And the Euro 18 Z came out right now, maybe. I don't know if it's run yet or not. It's running now, 72 hours. Okay, there it is right there. So it's 1,002. It's always never had a handle. Then it's 997. It actually strengthens it all the way through the southeast. And so a strengthening hurricane, I'm telling you, you're going to see more inland effects than you have on a weakening tropical system you might have seen in the past. This thing is going to maintain low pressure inland and then park right here. This is the 18Z. So there's that. So that's kind of where we're at. The latest UK kind of doing the same thing. Let's look. The UK's had the best handle on this thing from day one, and it's pretty much hasn't changed much. Oh, there it is. My eyes are getting bad. We can go to the Gulf here because it, well, I'll tell you what. Let's go back. Let's go US. Hold on. Model UK, US, US. And we'll look at 850. This is a little dramatic, but there is Monday, a little later landfall, but notice it's on the tip of the western edge of the cone. The UK is. It stops it here. That's Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning, and then it kind of pulls it on out of here. So, I mean, they're all showing that slowdown. The UK and the Canadian, or KMA, has been really good. Here's the latest Korean model, and it's more into the Big Bend area. Pretty strong little system, and then it kind of parks it, and that's the theme. So, parks it for a couple days. This is Thursday night. I can't imagine that thing sitting there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But it's looking very likely. All right. All right. So ensembles, let's look at the latest Weather Nerds ensembles. We were tracking Barrow. We had a lot of discrepancy in the ensembles, but this is not that storm. This is definitely not that storm. The track is pretty solid. I mean, we don't have one ensemble going into South Florida. We don't have one ensemble going into Tampa. We have pretty much honing in on the upper Gulf. We have the little funky little loop here of this thing stalling off the coast and then going back up and land as it exits northeast. So this is that slowdown. These are all the ensembles pretty much showing that. GFS ensembles showing the exact same thing. The mean here is the black one. That's the average of all the ensembles. So again, it's high confidence, upper Gulf. I think the only question mark is, does it slow down and turn a little east at the last second? Does it bounce more west and then do that slow down and turn at the last second? It's going to turn east eventually. It's going to slow down eventually, and it's going to stop eventually. But as far as any unexpected turns, I don't see it with this system. I think the biggest question mark is the intensity for me, number one. And really just who gets the heavy rain. I mean, let's look at the GFS heavy rain marker, because these will be a little bit more extreme than the blend that you see from the National Hurricane Center. But it's 20. It's not that bad actually. The Euro, it's 33 inches right here in South Carolina. Oh, that's the Euro. Even though the Euro is on a weak system, 33 inches of rain. So that's real, and that's through all next week. This is through next Friday. Wow, right. All right. So all your hazards, all your maps, everything you need to see is on the page. Let's look at some high resolution for tomorrow. Kind of give an idea of living, like for Florida, for example, what we can see for far as radar goes, just to show you how we are going to see feeder bands tomorrow. This is overnight tonight, already on the East Coast. So if you haven't had anything yet, they're coming. This is overnight tonight, midnight, 1 o'clock. But look, as the day goes on, they get closer to the coast. And tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., we're going to start seeing these get awfully close for the Florida, all the way up, all the way down. Key West, Key West, everybody, tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. And you just don't know how strong they're going to be, how heavy rains are going to be. There's going to be tornadoes. There's going to be, this is what it looks like throughout the day tomorrow. This is morning. This is afternoon. This is evening. And there you go. That's just an idea of the rain bands. See them? And what happens when our low goes to the north of Tampa Bay, for example, and everybody else, you still get these. You still get feeder bands coming around, wrapping in. And then you're going to start getting them out ahead of it to the Carolinas. So even though our system's right here, the Gulf's going to be pushing these feeder bands in continuously all the way through Monday morning. And these, they can get feisty. I mean, look at this. This is Monday. This is noon. This is 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday. Look, strong feeder bands. I've seen these feeder bands produce. You get a little, Andrew, you watching? Anyway, you get dry air. Sometimes the day after a tropical system, you get tornado warnings. Sometimes you get a lot of them because now you got dry air, you have instability, you have pop-up convection. So, that's real. You get a lot of tornado warnings with tropical systems. You're already seeing it on the Storm Prediction Center map here. This is for tomorrow and then Sunday. But here's primarily tomorrow into tomorrow night. And you can see what the heck's going on here. Here it is right here. There's tomorrow, Sunday. So these feeder bands can be quite strong and something to watch for because of the tropical system nature. All right, so a couple cool links you need to know about. Listen, these are very important. Local National Weather Service offices, threats and impacts. Okay, those are very important if you want to know local information, threats and impacts. If you want to zoom into particular areas and what you might see as far as winds go, surge goes, high wind gusts. Here's potential wind for 74 to 110 miles an hour now. These are maximum worst case scenario winds, but they get updated. Here's your storm surge maps and flooding rain maps, and they get updated in time. So don't think you're not in it. This is just short-term threats, and also your Tampa Bay market. But if you want to look at all your different offices, there you go. Miami, Melbourne, Tallahassee, and these will get adjusted as our storm goes into Georgia and the Carolinas. So I try to put that on there as an important link for everybody, okay? And there you go. I am not talking about the new wave. Blue Wolf, sorry, buddy. It's one storm at a time. There's really not a lot of confidence 100% yet to go all in. But the waves are coming. It's going to happen. We have a lot of storms this season, okay? The wave everybody was talking about looks like it's kind of fizzled a little bit. So we got to be careful. And I don't want to jump on something until we get through this one. People are going to get hurricane hangover, and then when it's time to really get everybody worked up, they're not going to want to listen, is my opinion. So that's about it. We got new M-Hall. I was talking to a lot of people behind the scenes, and there's a lot of professionals think this could make a run at a 2. You probably read my post last night, and you know what I think. I'm not thinking 5, but last night it was supposed to be a tropical storm, and I'm like, ain't no way. So now it's official. Hey, Lori, I haven't seen you in a while. All right, so tomorrow we're going to be talking a little longer. I'm tentatively it's 9:19 unless this thing speeds up. I'm going north, but just plan on something tomorrow, 100%. All right. So that's our Dirty 30 minutes. I'll read more comments tomorrow, but as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks to all the Brew crew members, all of our Cat 1, Cat 5 subscribers, all the great sponsors of the page, and enabling me to do what I love to do. All right, we'll see you in the morning, everybody. Bye-bye.